Welcome back, guys. Today we got to do a number of things. First, we got to go check on some hay that I cut a couple days ago to see if it's going to be ready to rake or not. Then we got to run down to the ponds and check the irrigation pump and shut it off because we don't want our pivot to get over on some hay that we've already cut and water it. And then I got to hop in the harrow bed and pick up a bunch of small bales for a delivery later on. So let's get to it. If you guys are enjoying these videos, don't forget to smash that like button, turn on your notifications, and subscribe. Now, I apologize for all this smoke. We've been getting a ton of smoke from the forest fires down in California and Oregon. We have a couple here too. It's kind of made things a little bit difficult. Okay guys, so I just checked this hay right here and it's still a little bit too wet yet. It's kind of been hard to dry it out lately because the smoke is just completely shading out the sun, and hay's just taking a really long time to dry without the sun beating down on it. So since that hay is not ready to rake yet, I'm gonna run and shut this irrigation off. If it goes any farther, it'll get into that hay that I just checked, and then it'll never get dry. So now that we've got the pump shut off, we're out here at the center pivot. And for those of you who don't know what a center pivot is, a center pivot carries water up in this top main beam out in a long straight line, and it has those wheels with towers on it. And then it has hoses that hang down from that line, and they're sprinklers. And the whole thing moves in a big circle so you can water your farm ground really well. So now we got to shut off the pivot, and it's pretty easy. All we got here is just our shut-off switch. You shut that off, and then it's got the disconnect that completely shuts it off. And I always do that as well, just to make sure. So on a pivot, you can set how fast the pivot moves around in that circle and waters your land. So right here, a 0 would represent the pivot really not moving, so putting on as much water as it possibly can. And 100% would be putting on as little water and moving it as fast as you can. So up here on this chart, it shows us 100%. If you have the dial set to 100%, you're putting on 0.17 inches. If you have the dial set to 8.6, you're putting on 2 inches. And so that's how we can kind of control how much water we put on our hay and just whatever other crops we have here. All right, guys. So here we got what's called a stack cruiser. We refer to it as a harrow bed. But anyway, what this thing does is, it's got this head on the front of it, and as you're driving along, it'll come onto this bale, and then there's a chain right here in the back of this. And it'll lift the bale up, and then the bale will flop over and go along this table right here on this chain and slide over. And then once it gets 2 on this table, and you have one here, and both of them will fold up onto that table. And then once you get, 6 layers or so back on that table, that whole table will flip up to where those kind of finger looking things are. And then once you get however many layers you want, we kind of do 6 because we're stacking them outside, but you can do all the way to 12. Once you get 12 layers or 6 layers all the way stacked up on this thing, then you head into wherever you're stacking them, and this whole thing will lift up, set up, and then you can just leave a whole stack sitting there and pull away. It's a pretty fast way of picking up small bales. But anyway, I'm really terrible at explaining things, so I'll just get some shots of it working so you can kind of see how it works for yourself. And just like that, guys, we got a load that we can bring in and put in the stack. All right, guys, I think I got enough hay for me and Bryce for this afternoon. We're gonna take a bunch of these small bales and load them onto a truck and deliver them to a customer that lives, an hour and a half away. And that'll probably be the end of our day. It'll take us a little while to do that. So that's what we'll do next. All right, guys, so Bryce finally showed up. We're gonna get these small bales loaded and then we'll be on our way. One more thing before we get this loaded. My aunt made us some sweet shirts. Sweet logo, and on the back we have the bales to deliver. As you can tell, guys, that was pretty easy. Didn't even really break a sweat. Probably did it in like 30 seconds, right? They were just that good. Anyway, Bryce is just finishing strapping down here. We'll get our motor put in the box, make sure we got gas, and then we'll head out. Old Bryce says that when your strap's about halfway through the bale, that's when you know you got it tight enough.
We're off like a herd of turtles.
Hey guys, me and Bryce just got back from delivering hay. Customers seemed really happy with their hay, so if they're happy, we're happy. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see our last video, click here. If you want to see us do some hay truck karaoke, click here. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.